Yes, good evening, all of you.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Okay, but today I will give you notes for chemical bonding.
Sir, your voice is low.
Sir, now you're taking the fourth chapter, right?
Yeah, fourth chapter.
So what about the third one?
Third one, periodic table, completed. Oh, is that Akshaya?
That's me.
Priyanka?
Sir,
He meant the first chapter actually, PDF part.
What?
So the PDF part.
Oh, that is, I will take
Sir, your
it.
voice is too low.
Yes, sir.
yes,
Someone
sir.
can
There
voice.
is echo, sir.
So after 4 classes, I will give you the.
Excuse me, sir.
Hello?
Sir, the voice is echoing a lot.
Yes, sir. There's no echo cancellation.
Probably the headphones got disconnected from the laptop.
Or maybe
Connected.
due to unmute.
Sir, maybe your mic is not.
Not working.
Now it was okay,
So
sir.
now it was fine.
Yeah.
Hello?
Now it was fine.
Okay now?
Yeah, now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Now it's
sir.
okay.
Yeah. Okay. So that PDF part I will explain you after 4 classes.
No, sir, I
So
mean
this
the
full week I will take only chemical bonding.
So I mean the third chapter, like on the text.
What? This
We
chemical
did
bonding
that
is fourth
first.
chapter, no?
Sir, she's talking about periodicity.
Yes, sir. We
Completed,
already
no?
did that first itself.
Periodic table, periodicity, periodic properties completed.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, right. Chapter name, chemical bonding and molecular structure.
Sir, I think some of them didn't attend.
Sir, in the third chapter, some of us were not there. So our sir said that that chapter will be taken up again sometime.
Yes,
Yes.
I will take.
Okay.
Chemical bonding and molecular structure. So, right, what is the definition for molecule? A group of atoms existing
Hello, sir.
Hello? Yes, tell me.
Have you started with the term molecule?
Yeah, definition. What is molecule?
Oh, yes, sir. Sir. Some
Existing
screenshot.
together as one species and having characteristic properties called molecule. Atoms are usually not capable of free existing. Existence. So now subheading for chemical bonding. What is the definition of chemical bond? A force which hold the atoms together. This force which holds the atom together, the atoms within a molecule, called a chemical bond. Okay, this is about molecule and chemical bond. So further see small introduction about this. So here many questions are arised. Why atoms are combining and forming molecule, and why only particular atoms only combining and forming molecules. Some atoms are completely not involving in the formation of molecules, and only certain combinations are possible. Suppose H and H combination only possible, it gives H2, but why 3 hydrogens combination is not possible? Yes. So this is one question. And why molecules having the shape? To answer these questions, some theories are given by the scientists. The theory is the Cossels-Lewis theory, valence shell electron pair repulsion theory. That's one we are calling VSEPR theory, and valency bond theory. Finally, molecular orbital theory. This is just a small introduction. So the number of questions now arises. First one, why do atoms combine? Second question, why are only certain combinations possible?
So
Yes,
in writing, you can dictate. We can like write faster.
yes, okay.
So just
I think some students are, hello?
a second, I'll just write those 2 points and then you can start dictating. So
Okay.
you start dictating just
But because some students are not disconnecting,
after,
that's why
like
it's so
one
difficult.
Sir,
minute.
sir,
I'll complete those
can you write
points.
along with dictating, because my network connection is fluctuating, so I will be
Yeah,
missing
that's
out.
what. Okay, okay. While writing, I will read loudly. So write. Why are certain combinations possible? Third point, third question. Why do some atoms combine while others do not? Then why do molecules possess definite shapes? Definite shape. So to answer about the questions, different theories have been put forwarded. Different theories have been put forwarded from time to time. The first theory is Lewis-Causel's theory or Causel's-Lewis theory. Second one, valence shell electron pair repulsion theory. Next theory, valency bond theory. This is called VBT. And molecular orbital theory. This is MOT.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, so all theories are right, or only the last one, molecular orbital theory, only that was right?
Yeah, only right. So to explain, wait 1 minute. Yeah. So here some questions are arising. 4 questions, right? To answer this
Yeah.
question, some theories are given. So those theories, one is Causels-Lewis theory, valency shell means Vesper theory, and valency bond theory, and molecular orbital theory. So in this
Okay, so
chapter,
the
we are
fourth
discussing about only
theory-
these 4 theories.
Okay, so the 4 different questions were answered by these 4 theories.
Yeah, but some
Okay.
theories are failed to explain the stability of molecule, shape of molecule. That's what another theory was introduced.
Okay, yeah.
So these theories are in chronological order. Are these theories like in chronological order?
Chronological order.
Yes, sir. So is the
Sir, he
VS
meant by one after the other.
One after
Yes.
that only, yeah.
Okay, sir.
Sir, so because there was a disadvantage or a defect
Yeah. So
in
obviously one theory
one
is given.
theory, another theory came.
It having some limitations. To explain those limitations, next another theory was given.
So then that means the fourth theory is like completely right.
Mm.
So the
So
fourth
this is
theory,
See here, last theory, molecular orbital theory is in structure of atom is studied about molecules and orbitals. That orbital concept is a fully theoretical one. And mean by calculation only it is given. There is no real existence of orbitals also. Just it is one explanation.
sir,
By that way, they explained some properties better than remaining theories.
sir, so the molecular orbital theory has the points even of the other theories, right? The correct points of the other theories.
Yeah. So whatever the limitations are there in about the 3 theories, that was successfully explained by last molecular orbital theory, MOT theory.
Okay.
So you can write from a little more, like.
It's completed. Okay. Next. Put subheading. Louis Caussel's approach the chemical bonding.
So
Yes.
So why can't we directly study MOT and not
Oh, so
the
you are telling
theories which have?
okay. But in examination, they won't ask only MOT. They will ask other theories also, no?
no, sir.
But
Like
Sir,
our
let me tell you.
generation,
Hmm.
our
Sir, I'll
generation.
answer. Sir, can I answer?
Yeah, tell
Sir,
me.
if we don't study the previous theories, whatever drawbacks were there in those theories, we'll question. Like
Yes.
if we say like atoms have orbitals, we would think why like this? We would think why can't we make it simple like 2, 6? Those we used to write like 2, 8, 8, 2 like that. Why can't we
Electronic
make like that?
configurations.
Yes, sir. Like that we'll have questions. Again, we'll have questions. That's why we need to learn the older theories first. Then we'll
Yes,
learn the newer
yes, sir.
ones.
I get that. I know that. I mean, no. My thing is that again in the previous chapter, we have learned like every theory had their own equations and stuff, but we still solve those questions even when we know that they are not applicable in today's science, field, and we don't use such. So why does our why does our batch have to learn all this?
So
when we
why
have
do we
other-
have to learn
Sir.
predicted theories?
Okay.
Sir, can I answer this question?
Okay, tell me.
Sir, my answer as of this is, when you learn a theory, you'll get some thoughts.
Yeah, new thoughts
The
will
next
come.
theory will solve your thoughts or your doubts. The drawbacks will occur, and the next theory again will solve those. So this will keep occurring each and every chapter. And our Indian education system suggests that we have to learn all
So
these.
listen, guys, if you know only what is correct and if you know what is mistake, so that means you don't have any knowledge.
Yes, sir. Like
Yes,
we
sir,
can learn the
exactly.
theories, but like the calculations of the old theories. Which
Yes,
are,
sir. That's my question. Yeah.
Why do we have to learn those?
See here, suppose if we think about first theory, Lewis causal theory, of course it having a lot many limitations, but however it is able to explain some molecular stability, right? And if we go valency bond theory, that explains molecular structure, how is the shape of a molecule, but that is not explained by MOT theory. Then can you tell? Will you prepare only MOT?
So theories are fine. Like
No, sir.
we learned the plum pudding model theory. It's fine. We are just seeing the evolution. It's like a history for us, history of chemistry. But we are talking about the sums which we solve according to each scientist's theory, which have been proven wrong in the past. Why do we have to do that?
See, this sciences won't end up to this theory only. We need to evolve further new theories also.
So yes.
Yes. So
Green
to
is
give
close.
that theories, so only how it is only one theory is sufficient. I think you will go to back again this theory. Maybe this is correct. What I'm telling. Now molecular orbital theory is correct. That only you prepared.
Sir, she's
Don't know.
talking about calculations, like not the theory.
So theory.
Yes, sir. Like
calculation.
Let me tell you. So calculation means it won't comes anywhere. From the theory only calculations comes. So suppose in science, if you are writing one equation or one formula, in mathematics, I don't know about full mathematics. I think meaningless. You can write 2 + 3, 3 + 4. But in science, if you are writing something number, any number or anything, it having some reason. Otherwise, you shouldn't write. So to write this number also, here some theory is giving in chemistry. And not in chemistry, in science. Giving some theory. According to that theory only, we are writing formulas. Yes. So can you tell any formula without theory produced?
No chance, sir.
No chance. By giving theoretical explanation.
You have to have
Let me know one thing. In physics, you are writing some falling stone, right?
Yeah.
You are writing some formulas. Even kinetic energy formula you are writing. K is equal to half mv². So without theory, are you writing this formula?
No, sir, not at all.
It having theory. So of course you are maybe writing a + b whole square is equal to, yeah. In mathematics, while we are solving problems, I think no need much theoretical explanation for those. But especially in physics and chemistry, if you are writing something formula, it must need to give some theoretical explanation. We are using PV is equal to nRT, ideal gas equation. Yes, to provide this one equation, we have full chapter. Only to provide PV is equal to nRT. Why we need to give only PV is equal to nRT? Who is that? Risha? Risha?
Yes, sir.
Who asked the something question?
I did, sir.
Yeah. Now, any question?
No, sir. I didn't ask the question. Pratik
No,
did.
somebody who is that? So you are saying to solve problem, why need to prepare theory, right? Of course, if you didn't theory, let me 1 minute. If you didn't prepare theory, I think you may get better marks in studies, no problem. But if you go further job purpose, I want to do something, so that marks and they were what certificates, there is no use. Based on your knowledge, you will get job and the further promotions. Your life is decided by your thoughts. The thoughts will come by reading only by theories.
Yes, sir. I agree.
Understanding each and every point.
the theory part makes sense, but the practical part, like of the old theories which were like proven to be wrong, the theory we can learn, but the practical part, why do we need to do? When it was proven wrong, why do we need to solve sums based on that theory when it was already proven wrong?
Sir, the old theories only can prove one up to some extent, and only till that extent we are doing those problems, right? We're not going beyond it. So
Yeah.
old theories can work in problems also.
Yes, well, it works.
I wanted
See, hello
to
guys.
answer.
We are studying in our books very less concepts. Suppose if you see in technology in IT field, I think you are to go that job. You are learning maybe 1 or 2 languages. What C, C++, Java, something only. Yes. But if you go in IT industry, they are doing a higher level concept based programming. So you know, I already listen about SpaceX.
Yes, sir.
Yes. And I mean, Amazon also doing the same work. Their work is beyond our syllabus. Means more than 1,000 times. So to do that and all works, you need a lot of knowledge. Just by this book knowledge is not sufficient. And in book knowledge also, you have to learn every concepts. Further only your mind will work. Otherwise, your job becomes just only bench level. Okay. Put subheading, Cossels-Lewis approach to chemical bonding.
So
yeah,
you can write from more above. You'll have more.
Oh, line.
So you can draw the line above that as well.
Cossels-Lewis approach and hyphen chemical bonding. So listen guys, so just one point. Why do we read chemical bonding? I think, yes, tell me.
So I got disconnected. Did you start this?
Yeah, just this is only concept. Just
okay,
Cossels-Lewis approach and chemical bonding. Anybody can tell what is the use of chemistry? Just what is the use of just chemistry? I'm not talking about other subjects.
Sir, I'm saying, can I answer?
Yes, yes.
Sir, chemistry, I think, was born to find some substances which can make us stay longer.
Okay, and then?
Especially materials which can be stronger, which can be used as weapons, and other applications related to materials and drugs.
So,
also,
next.
I would say this statement. Chemistry is godfather of all physics and biology, sir. It's a bridge to them.
Okay, okay. Next.
So to know the chemical composition of a substance.
Okay, chemicals. To make, especially drug industry, to make tablets, injections, vaccines, right?
So,
yes.
So actually chemistry was born because humans started to research about each and every element, started to find the properties and find the uses of it. By finding the uses, they made tablets and all many uses of chemistry. So it's used on almost in biology and
yeah, biology and chemistry combination, right?
Yes, sir.
So in the nature, whatever the substance is there, that about that only we are studying in chemistry, right? Of course, this further chemistry is classified into organic chemistry, inorganic chemistry, and physical chemistry. Okay, that is secondary part. And if you look into only suppose organic chemistry part, a small difference just in a molecular structure, a small change, suppose just about D-glucose. I think you already listened about D-glucose. D-glucose, yes, for the energy purpose we are drinking, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Glucose is two types more. D-glucose we have, L-glucose we have.
Sir, what is D-glucose and L-glucose?
Yeah, both having the formula C6H12O6. This also L-glucose also have C6H12O6. Just there is a change in molecular structure is only small change. And if you see in fructose,
Isomers.
So what is it applying? Like, what's the difference between both of them?
even wait. Fructose also having same formula. This also having fructose C6H12O6. But if you eat fructose, of course you feel maybe sweet taste, but it won't provide much energy. Glucose only provides energy. I think in biology you are trying some cycle, Krebs cycle. Hello? In biology, I think energy production. That is one cycle is there. A glucose is converting into energy. But a small difference between glucose and D-glucose and L-glucose is just stereochemistry. At the fifth carbon, OH is this side, H is this side, that is D-glucose. In L-glucose, at the fifth carbon, OH is this side, H is this side. That is the difference.
So they are isomers.
No. Isomers.
Yes, sir. So there are
Stereoisomers.
many combinations, right?
Yeah. So overall, it depends upon molecular structure only. That molecular structure we are studying under chemical bonding. Yes, to how the molecular structure is not that molecular structure is not given by Castle-Lewis approach. Just they discussed about just how a chemical bond is formed and how a molecule is stable. So further, this shape of a molecule and bond angles, bond length, those are given by other theories. Valency shell electron pair repulsion theory is giving, and even valency bond theory also explaining. And we have one more theory, hybridization concept, that also explains molecular shapes.
Sir, could you repeat that? The last 2 points. I couldn't hear you.
So see here, Lewis-Cossel's theory, it only explains about the chemical bond, how chemical bond is formed, how molecule is stable. And further some theories are there, there's valency bond theory and VSEPR theory. Those theories explains what is the shape of a molecule. So now I think you know what is the use of shape of molecule. If you see some other,
Is there any chemical difference between glucose and fructose?
No, there is no any chemical difference. Both having same formula. Just
then sir, why do they say that fructose is more harmful for human body than
not
glucose?
harmful. Who said fructose is harmful?
I don't know. I saw that.
No, fructose is not harmful. Fructose is a highly sweet taste. Honey having content is fructose only. So this is not harmful. Fructose is not harmful. D-glucose here nothing is harmful, but D-glucose provides more energy. L-glucose do not provide energy. And one more thing, suppose if we are taking any tablet or injection, whatever, in our body, some substrate already present. We are taking a tablet that having some particular molecular shape. If that shape is perfectly fit into this cavity, then only the tablet works and it provides some chemical response. Because of that chemical response only, we may feel some relief from whatever it is, a pain or whatever, or burning sensation, whatever you can say. This is also depends upon shape of the molecule. If molecular shape is bigger, it won't fit. If even molecular shape is smaller, it won't fit. And molecular, not only shape, your binding sites also exactly should match. Binding sites also should match. Otherwise, it won't fit. I think you know, headache, suppose feeling headache, if you take only headache tablet, it will works. If you take any other tablet, antibiotics, it works?
No,
it won't works. No doubt, it won't works. Because that antibiotic molecules are not fitting into this substrate. That is completely different. Headache tablet, that molecular shape and that binding sites is different. So this is only the use of here chemical bonding. Shapes and mainly shape and bond angles only we are studying under chemical bonding. And introduction, this is just what is the chemical bonding, why chemical bonding is forming. Okay, now see about Lewis-Causels approach.
Sir,
Tell me.
I have a doubt. Don't feel bad. It's already time. Can I ask fast?
Yeah, tell me.
Why is sugar called a mixture, sir? This question I answer in the class, but I myself I'm not able to understand.
Sugar? What?
Sugar. Why is sugar a mixture?
Sugar? Who said sugar is not mixture?
So it is because it contains glucose and fructose both. And I told you, right, that fructose is more harmful. I even Googled right now. They say that fructose is very harmful for human body because it doesn't get absorbed by the digestive tract and it goes into the liver. So which is why you are not supposed to consume fructose much.
Okay. Of course, maybe that reason. But in each sugar molecule, glucose molecule, fructose molecule, both are linked. Both are linked. This is glucose. This is fructose. Just these two are these are functional group is there. Not this and this both are linked. That is only we are saying sugar. Okay, yes, you can say now. Yeah, it is a mixture of glucose and fructose. But that is only possible when you take in aqueous solution. Otherwise, it won't cleave this bond. If you take in crystal state, solid state, this completely linked. It look like a one molecule only. It look like one molecule in crystal state.
Yes, sir.
But in aqueous state, it's changed.
Yes, sir. Because the property is changed.
That dissolves, no? Then molecules comes out. They are present in 1:1 ratio. Glucose and fructose are present in 1:1 ratio in sugar.
Yes, sir.
It is a compound, right?
Hello?
No, in the textbook it's given as a mixture, I think.
So sugar is not a compound; it's a mixture. Or
in solid state.
In liquid, like
in liquid state.
Aqueous state.
Aqueous state. In water only that cleaves, bond cleavages between the glucose and fructose, it becomes a mixture.
Yes, a bond breaks.
Okay, now
so
see
what
about
is the chemical formula or molecular formula of sucrose?
C12
H22O11.
That is only sugar.
Okay.
Okay. Listen about Lewis-Causels theory. Here, Causel is worked on inorganic substances. Lewis mainly worked on organic compounds. Here, the both theories says a molecule are getting only stability by octet configuration. See, first they explained why noble gases are stable. So helium only having duplet configuration, neon configuration 28, argon configuration 288, krypton 36. Configuration is 218.8. No, just listen. Later I will give 288.8, and xenon is 54. 218 is 2818, 18 and 8. And radon configuration 2818, 32, 18 and 8. So this except no helium, this is having duplet configuration. These elements in its valence shell 8 electrons are present. That's what noble gases are stable. They are not involving in chemical bonding. But other elements other than noble gases are involving in chemical bonding because they don't have 8 electrons in its valence shell. So to get 8 electrons in its valence shell, those elements are involving in chemical bonding. That chemical bond may be by losing electron or by gaining electron or by sharing of electrons. Those elements also gets 8 electrons in its valence shell. By that way, and atoms are getting stability and forming molecule. So noble gases already having 8 electrons in its valence shell. They are stable. They are not involving in chemical bonding. But other elements, halogens and alkali metals, all other elements, they are involving in chemical bonding because in its valence shell, less than the 8 electrons are present. So to get 8 electrons in its valence shell, they are transferring electron, or means giving to other element, or taking electrons from other elements, or by mutual sharing of electrons, they also gets 8 electrons in its valence shell and they forms molecule. That is only Lewis-Cossel's theory. Now, anybody can tell what is octet rule? Octet rule. Anybody? Simple in name only there. What is octet?
To attain
If
octet configuration.
atom reaches an octet configuration, it is stable.
So atoms, by involving in chemical bonding, so during that process it gains electrons or loses electrons, or by sharing electron they gets 8 electron in its valence shell. That is called octet configuration. So once an atom gets octet configuration, that is stable. Already you saw yesterday example how fluorine molecule is formed. Each fluorine having 7 electrons in its valence shell. So each fluorine atom donating 1 electron. So these electrons are shared by both the atoms. So now in its valence shell of fluorine, 8 electrons are there. 2, 2, 2, here also 2. 8 electrons. That's what. Now fluorine molecule is stable. But atomic fluorine is unstable. Molecular fluorine is stable because in molecular fluorine there is octet configuration. So this is only Lewis-Cossel's theory why chemical bond is forming, because of instability. In atomic state they are unstable, they are forming chemical bond. By this way it is getting stability. Now this theory is also called as electronic theory of valency. Because they are mostly talking about valence electrons only. One more thing, in chemical bonding only valence electrons involves in chemical bonding. Inner electrons they won't involve. So that's what saying it is electronic theory of valency. And yesterday I already explained about covalent bond, ionic bond, and coordination covalent bond.
Sir. Yes, sir.
By mutual sharing, the bonded atoms donates the electrons, and those electrons are mutually shared by the atom, both the bonded atom. That is called covalent bond. This is covalent bond because both the atom donating equal number of electrons and mutually sharing. This is covalent bond.
So what is coordinate covalent bond?
Yeah. So for coordination covalent bond, only one atom, only during the bonded atoms, only one species providing both the electrons. To form chemical bond, minimum required 2 electrons. Yes, those 2 electrons are donated by one atom, but both the atoms are sharing the 2 electrons. That kind of bond we are calling coordination covalent bond. Suppose NH3, nitrogen have 2 electrons. Sorry, in ammonia, nitrogen have 2 electrons. Here H plus, that not having any electrons. Now ammonia only providing 2 electrons for chemical bond. Now this both the species are sharing those electrons. This kind of chemical bond we are calling coordination covalent bond. And ionic bond, you know that complete transfer of electron from one atom to another atom. To form KCl, suppose potassium electronic configuration, tell me. Ask me.
Yes, sir. 1:2.
Okay.
Oh, 2882.
Shell electronic on 2881.
1.
19,
Yeah, 1.
Chlorine?
19, yeah. 288. 287, sorry, 287.
287.
Yeah.
So this is the potassium valence shell, this chlorine valence shell, this. So potassium gets octet configuration by losing electron. Suppose potassium lost this one electron. Okay, keep here. Potassium lost one electron, it become K plus. Now electronic configuration only 288. Now in its valence shell 8 electrons are there. Chlorine gain 1 electron. So potassium lost no 1 electron. This 1 electron is gained by chlorine. Its configuration become 288. Now see, both the species valence shell having 8 electrons. So here positively charged species, this is a negatively charged species. Between this some interactions are exist. That interactions we are saying electrostatic force of attraction. This is only ionic bond. So between cation, this is a cation, this is the anion. Some electrostatic force of attraction exists between these two species. That electrostatic force of attraction we are calling ionic bond. See ionic bond formation between few compounds.
Sir, so now we will only be discussing only these 4 points in the 4 classes.
Which 4 points?
Now we have given also 4 questions and we have to find the answers of these 4. To the 4
the 4 theories.
Oh, 4
Yeah.
theories. Yeah, that 4 theories.
The next part we'll be discussing afterwards.
See how calcium chloride is formed. So this compound formation is explained by this theory only, Clausius-Cossel's theory only. Simple compounds. Calcium electronic configuration
2882.
2882. How many electrons are there in valence shell?
2.
2. You no doubt it is unstable. Chlorine
287. 287, yeah.
287. This chlorine also having 287. Now chlorine also unstable because it having only 7 electrons in its valence shell. Now calcium having 2 electrons in valence shell, losing the 2 electrons. Then it becomes Ca plus 2. So I will write here separately Ca 2 plus by losing the 2 electrons. Means the calcium is giving 1 electron to this chlorine, giving another electron to this chlorine. That's what this becomes Cl minus. This also becomes Cl minus. Now calcium lost this 2 electron. One of the electron is gained by this chlorine. Then it becomes 8, no? Yes? 8. By losing 2 electrons, calcium also getting 8 electrons in its valence shell. Then this chlorine also gained 1 electron. So this also becomes 8. Now see all the 3 species having 8 electrons in its valence shell. Then there is electrostatic force of attraction between this charged species, 2 chlorines and a calcium. That bond we can say ionic bond. Okay, next about Na2S.
So should we write this?
No, later I'll give you example. Only 2 examples I will explain, then I'll give notes. Na2S. Tell me sodium electronic configuration. Priyanka.
281.
281.
281.
281. This also having 281. Sulfur electronic configuration.
Donate to the sulfur atom.
286.
6, yeah.
286. See, to get stability for sulfur, it requires 2 electrons, right?
2 electrons.
2, yeah.
Sodium, to get stability, it requires
Lose 1 electron.
lose 1 electron. No doubt, to gain 7 electrons is much difficult. 7 electron gaining is difficult. That's what, better to lose 1 electron. Sodium loses this 1 electron. This sodium also losing 1 electron. And they forms Na plus. Here also Na plus. Sulfur gains those 2 electrons. Here becomes 288. Now all the species having octet configuration. That's what Na2S is forming.
So,
Yeah.
so does this might not be a very okay. Anyway, so my question is, will the element lose its identity after gaining or losing electrons?
No, it won't lose its identity. By
Never
change,
does.
no, its identity don't loses. By only changing nucleus, it loses its identity.
Yes.
So
By electrons, it
electronic,
won't lose.
okay, electronic configuration does not depend on the character of the element, right?
Element. No, it won't depend.
Sir,
It's only describes stability of element or species, stability of species, and chemical reactivity of a species. Electronic configuration tells, especially mostly chemical reactivity.
Yes, sir.
Sir, but it loses its independent properties, right? Like when it is just an element and not a molecule. So then, for example, hydrogen and oxygen. So first, both of them have different properties.
Physical
But when
properties change, but chemical
I'm talking
properties
about. So it's talking about identity of element. Identity of element, it won't lose. Of course, its property may changes.
so
Especially
identity
when
and
it is forming.
properties are different
No,
things.
both are different.
No, only the
Property, both are
physical
different.
property, only the physical property will change, right?
H2O is forming, right? Here, once a element is involving in chemical bonding, its physical properties completely changes, but its chemical identity, it won't loses. So here hydrogen is involving. In product also, there is hydrogen appearing, no? Hydrogen appearing, but the property of water may be different, but its identity is still here only, H2.
Yeah, I thought that identity and property
No,
are
both are different.
same thing. Okay.
sir,
Tell me.
in nuclear reactions, elements will lose its identity.
Yeah, only nuclear reaction they loses its identity because completely
nuclear
element was
fusion.
changing. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, just a minute. Yes. All right, notes. A number of attempts were made. A number of attempts were made to explain the formation of chemical bond,
So before this, you didn't give any other Corson-Lewis
No,
notes, right?
No, I didn't give anything. Chemical bonds in terms of electrons, but it was only in 1916. 1916. And Cosell and Lewis. Cosell and Lewis succeeded independently in giving satisfactory explanation since this theory was based on their theory was based on electronic concept of the atom. The electronic concept of the atom. So it is referred to as an electronic theory of valency.
Sir, this Cosell and Lewis, both of them did the work independently, but both of their explanations were same, or was there a difference and then they combined both of them?
No, their concepts almost the same, but the only difference is here Cosell is explained about mostly inorganic compound. Just now we discussed common salt, NaCl.
So were they a duet, like were they a pair? They worked together, or they worked individually?
They worked independently. They worked, but almost that the summary of both the theories is same. They both are discussing about octet configuration only.
So they were contemporary to each other. Like were they? Or they were in the same years. Were they contemporary to each other? Like no, they weren't.
So
they both discussed about similar factor, that is only about octet. Why the atom is stable means, of course, their process is maybe different, their submission of papers is different, but the final conclusion is octet configuration.
So both of them proposed the theory in the same year.
Okay, yeah, 1916. I mean, closer to that year, but in our books they are not given. There may be 1 or 2 years, or 2 years. That year difference may be there.
Okay.
If there was an year difference, they would just say Cosell's approach.
Yeah, exactly.
No. The problem is Cosell only discussed about inorganic compounds. Lewis is discussing about organic compounds. Their only difference is that. That's what, but both are talking about octet configuration only. Stability of molecule because of octet configuration. That's what both the theories are combined, giving.
So, electronic theory of valency related to VSEPR theory.
Related to?
The valence shell electron repulsion theory.
Hello?
Sir, can you hear me?
Yes, tell me.
Sir, is it related to VSEPR theory, the second theory which you gave in the answers?
No. It's VSEPR theory is mostly discussing about chemical bonding to explain about chemical structure. How is the molecular structure is explained by VSEPR theory. This theory is mainly saying about how a chemical bond is formed.
So there's no relation between that and this?
No, there is no relation. That's completely different theory. But that is also related to valence electrons only. For the entire chemical bond is related to electrons. Okay.
Don't drop below that.
Okay, these 3 lines.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Noble gas, atomic number, and electronic configuration. Here, noble gas, atomic number, electronic configuration. Helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon. Radon. Atomic number 2, 8, 18, 36, 54, 86. Electronic configuration 2. Wait. Here 10, neon 10. 2, 8. This is 2, 8, 8. Krypton 2, 8, 18, and 8. So xenon 2, 8, 18, 18, and 8. Krypton 2, 8, 18, 32, 18, and 8. So underline this. Valence electrons.
So what about organism?
What? Oh, no, that's not. That's still under research. Its properties are not found correctly. All the properties.
Okay.
So
that is. Yes, tell me.
Except helium, others all possess
octet configuration.
configuration.
Yeah, helium having duplet configuration. So if you want, note down here, it is having duplet. So remaining all elements having octet. Right. Noble gases are inactive. Noble gases are inactive or stable because they have 8 electrons in the outermost shell. Outermost shell, so it's called octet. So except helium having duplet configuration. Or 2 electrons in case of helium. Called duplet. Okay, continuation. In case of all other elements, the number of electrons in their outermost shell in their outermost shells is less than 8, is less than 8, and hence they are chemically reactive. Hence they are chemically reactive. This led to the following conclusion. This led to the following conclusion called octet rule. All right, what is octet rule? The atoms of different elements combine with each other to complete their respective octets. To complete their respective octet or duplet
Sir, we cannot say duplet, right? Then it's not octet rule.
What?
Sir, we cannot say duplet. Then it's not octet rule, right?
No. In case of some most of the elements, we are saying octet. Or duplet in case of, so that's all right. Or duplet in case of
hydrogen.
Hydrogen, lithium, and beryllium. To attain stable.
Sir, these are generally. Sir. Yeah, almost like all the electrons belong to one s2 or 2s2 cell, sir. That's the reason. Like if imagine like atomic number is 3, sir. Its atomic number is 3. So 1s2, 2s1. So we have to consider duplet.
So in case suppose lithium is there, lithium having only 3 electrons, so it's not possible to complete its octet. So it prefers duplet configuration. Only in these 3 elements only we are observing: hydrogen, lithium, and beryllium. See, in this Lewis-Cauchy theory, this is only asking me in examination point of view. They won't ask about this full theory. They will ask what is octet rule. This statement you have to write. It's completed.
Yes, sir.
Asmi and Risha?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We have completed.
Okay, next small subheading. How do atom combine? So this is also under Lewis-Cossel's theory only. How do atoms combines? In bracket, modes of chemical combination. Modes of chemical combination. So right, chemical combination can occur in two ways. The first one, by complete transfer of one or more electrons. By complete transfer of one or more electrons from one atom to another, from one atom to another, this process is referred as electrovalency. Electrovalency. And the chemical bond formed is termed as electrovalent bond or ionic bond. This is the one complete transfer of electron. Next, second one is by sharing of electrons. By sharing of electrons. By sharing of electrons. This can occur in two ways as follows. Here definitions are important. Okay, ionic bond definition again I will give. Here covalent bond definition. When the shared electrons are contributed by the two combining atoms. equally. Equally. The bond formed is called covalent bond. The bond formed is called covalent bond. So underline this, covalent bond. Completed?
Yes, sir.
Sir, 1 minute, sir.
So, right, this is only covalent bond. Star, give star mark. So now B, coordination covalent bond definition. When these electrons are contributed, entirely by one of the atom, by one of the atom, but shared by both. But shared by both. The bond formed is known as coordinate bond or collative bond.
Sir?
Yes?
The bond between HCl, is it covalent or ionic?
Covalent bond. That is polar covalent bond. Instead of saying covalent bond, we can say polar covalent bond.
So what's the difference?
Difference is if a covalent bond is formed between single atoms,
right?
Yeah. So here both the same atoms. So you can say that is covalent bond. But if two different electronegative element like hydrogen and chlorine, both are different electronegative element. So that bond, of course, covalent, but you have to call polar covalent bond.
Okay, so it is ionic as well as it is sharing. So it is
It having some amount of ionic character and covalent character.
So it's not completely covalent bond.
No, it's not completely covalent. That is only we are studying under Fazan's rules. That no doubt, every year one question is asking based on Fazan rules, either in CET or in JEE.
So,
tell me.
So in coordinate bonds, like the example you gave of potassium and chlorine.
No, that's ionic bond, potassium and chlorine.
So, but then again, one electron is shared by the potassium to the to chlorine. So there's one like I don't understand what coordinate bond is exactly, because does it involve sharing of an electron? Like, does it involve electronegativity or electropositivity?
No, here also involves only sharing of electrons, but during the sharing process only one species providing both the electrons. These 2 electrons are provided by only one species. That is coordinate bond, or we are calling
2 electrons, sir?
Yeah, 2 electrons it gives. Suppose.
So the sodium example you gave.
No, sodium no, ma. NH3 and H plus. This example I give. Here, this species donating 2 electrons. These 2 electrons are donated by the ammonia only. H plus is not giving any species. So now, but sharing, hydrogen is sharing. It's not giving anything, but it's sharing.
So it does not form a compound, right?
It forms a compound. It forms NH4 plus. It forms.
So this is also an ionic bond. Is coordinate bond a type of ionic bond?
No. Ionic bond is complete transfer of electrons. So suppose potassium and chlorine.
Here electrons are only
potassium
shared.
Completely losing electron. It's giving electron to chlorine atom. That's what it forms K plus. Chlorine forms Cl minus. Now,
yes, sir.
Electrostatic force of attraction is present between K plus and Cl minus. That's we are saying ionic bond.
So there's no electrostatic force present in coordinate bonds.
No. Don't say that electrostatic force. You're covalent bond only.
So either electrons are shared or they are consumed by the other element. They still form a compound, right?
Either it is completely gaining electron, it forms compound. Yes, by sharing electrons or by complete transfer of electrons, forms compound.
Okay, sir.
It's completed.
Yes.
Coordinate covalent bond definition.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Hello, sir. Sir, in simple words, we can say that in ionic bonds, both atoms have certain charge present in them.
They're having charges.
But here we have no charges. That's why
here
we
it won't
say
have
it's sharing.
Full charges. I think in NaCl we are giving completely charge Na plus Cl minus. But in HCl we won't give that kind of charges. But here we are giving partial charges, partial positive, partial negative. This is the difference here.
The thing is,
this is ionic bond. Here plus charge, negative charge. But here it is not complete plus, not completely minus. That is we are saying partial charges. Dipoles are developed in HCl. This is more electronegative, no? But it drags electron.
Dipole.
Yeah, this is hydrogen nucleus. This is a chlorine nucleus. In HCl molecule, hydrogen nucleus, chlorine nucleus. That bond means electron density only. Electron, 2 electron. That electron density is more towards chlorine side.
Due to electronegativity.
More electronegative, but not completely. More electron
partial,
density.
Sir, not.
Yeah, but hydrogen having less electron density.
Because even hydrogen.
That's what here partially positive charge, here partially negative charge. This is about HCl, but in NaCl, completely electron is transferred to chlorine side. Sodium is lost electron.
Sir, this may be due to both are ionic compounds, sir. Both are completely ionic, no, sir.
This is completely ionic, but not 100%. Don't say according to Fazan's rules, there is no 100% ionic bond and 100% covalent bond. But there is a more chance to ionic bond and more chance to covalent bond. Here you can say more chances for covalent bond.
Sir,
here you can say more chances for ionic bond.
So whichever the rule
Hello? Hello? Keshav?
No, sir. Like you are using a name. Me? Hello?
Hello? Your voice is too low.
1 minute, sir.
In school, not completed this lattice enthalpy. Who is that? Ask me.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, in your school, they did not discuss about the factors affecting the formation of ionic bond.
So we are in VSEPR theory.
Yes, sir. We are in the last theory almost.
No, that's VSP theory is not last theory. One more is there.
No, we are not only in the VSPR theory. We are actually in the last theory. She's discussing the climax of the chapter.
Molecular orbital theory.
Yes, sir. Right.
She's not finished that.
Hybridization?
She hasn't finished it yet.
Hybridization completed?
No.
Hybridization
started.
I think they did not discuss. They discussed about any Fosdan's rules.
No, sir. She finished resonance structure and she went to VSEPR.
Directly
theory.
VSP. Okay.
Yeah, she didn't teach hybridization, and also it's very difficult for us to, understand what is she saying.
I think she is teaching hybridization concepts in VSPR.
No, she told like after VSEPR theory, she's gonna teach hybridization. I don't know how does that.
However, but you will teach. No, hybridization is a very important concept now. Yeah, after VSP theory only hybridization concept. Before that, valency bond theory completed. VSEPR theory.
I think so. Yeah.
Completed.
I don't think so.
Formula charge calculation.
No, sir.
No? Okay. Just octet rule completed. Lewis structures completed. And about ionic compound they didn't discuss. Okay. Okay. So in next class I will give you Lewis structures.
Okay, sir.
So actually for KV we started school today only.
In KV, which chapter they started?
Yesterday.
Yes, sir. We learned about the definition of chemistry.
Chemistry, sir.
States of matter, sir.
Yes,
First
sir.
they started states of matter.
Yes, no, sir. Like we are learning what is solid, what is liquid.
Okay.
What is gas?
Basic. That is in
Yes, sir.
first
Basic,
chapter.
sir.
We completed
Yes,
that.
sir.
Some
You
basic
completed.
concepts of chemistry.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that chapter.
Okay. So basically what you're talking about, we are like not able to relate, sir.
Hello?
Exactly, sir.
Hello, sir?
Not getting
Exactly,
what you
we are
said.
not able to relate.
Hello, Keshav?
Hello, sir?
Sir, he's
What is
telling he's not able to relate in the school.
In their
what
school,
you're
they haven't
teaching.
even started this chapter.
Okay. Fine. They started chemistry, right? No, you just now only said they started only chemistry definition, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, guys. In next class, we will see about Lewis structures.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
sir.
sir.
So.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.